Introducing yourself. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا يا أيها الذين آمنوا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. Indeed, all praises for Allah. We praise Him, we ask for His forgiveness, we beg and we seek refuge and protection of Allah from the evils of ourselves and the evil consequences of our sins. Whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides to the straight path, no force in the universe can misguide. We seek refuge and protection of Allah from the evil of our sins, the evil consequences of our sins. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, O you who believe, have taqwa of Allah is due to Him who that die except as Muslims. O you who believe, have taqwa of Allah and speak words of appropriate justice. He will then amend for you your deeds and forgive you your sins. And whoever obeys Allah and His Messenger has certainly attained a great attainment. So today's khutbah is called Crypto and Purification of the Heart. Some folks are saying, oh man, Bass is using clickbait khutbahs to try to get our attention. Well, this morning I was thinking, this happens every once in a while. I'm reflecting the khutbah, thinking, what am I going to talk about? What's something relevant to not only to all of you, but to myself? And so I wanted to start today's khutbah about crypto. And then we talk about purification of the heart, and then we'll end with some practical steps that we can do to purify our hearts, inshallah. So I bring up crypto because subhanAllah, crypto's been around for a long time. And I remember in 2013, one brother was trying to convince Muslims that it was okay, it's halal, be in crypto. And I remember the conversations, I even found some emails from 2013. Sometimes like, subhanAllah, if I did it back then. But many of you did not get into crypto for a reason, because of taqwa. Because you weren't sure, right? Many folks weren't sure, was this haram, halal. Something in our hearts early on said, no, this is no, it's not right. Now, had we known it was okay, many would have probably got involved in crypto a long time ago. And all of a sudden, everybody just see it, the fatwa came out, and oh man, Muslims got excited. And they got involved in crypto. And so just some advice to myself and all of you when it comes to something like this is that make sure you do your due diligence, right? If you're going to buy a home or you're going to invest in something, you're going to do due diligence, right? The same thing when it comes to any investment, whether it's crypto or something else. Make sure you read about it. You're reading the information about this crypto. Is there interest based, right? Are they getting interest out of it? Is it used for some bad purposes? Because you will be held to account. It's not just going investing left and right. You have to make sure you do your due diligence, because this is your asset that we're talking about here. So make sure it's something, and if you don't know, ask those who know. I'm sure every community has someone who's a crypto wizard, and that's all they're focusing on. Because it affects us. And also some folks, when it comes to crypto, they think, halas, I'm going to be a millionaire next year. They're already calculating, oh, if this goes up to this much, I'm going to get this much. And as Muslims, we have to be intentional about everything that we do. Everything that we do in our lives has to be intentional. So make your intention, say, Ya Allah, if you give your wealth, I will give back to the community. I will help my family. I'll help those that are less fortunate. I'll help the Afghan refugees who are coming to this region in droves. Be intentional. Because some, unfortunately, when it comes to wealth, they might think, oh man, I'm going to buy this house. I'm going to buy this car. I'm going to do this and that. And that's fine. You can do that. You can send your kids to the best schools and all that. Of course. But it's important to be intentional with your wealth, because the Prophet ﷺ said, he said, when you work with the fitna of our ummah is wealth. We're a very wealthy ummah. We're a very wealthy community. But we have to make sure that we're intentional about it. When we're intentional about it, that's when the barakah and all that comes through. So now telling you, it goes back to the state of the heart, purification of the heart. Now I'll try to transition purification of the heart. SubhanAllah, this is one of the most important things today. Everyone here thinks about how do we raise the best children? How do we raise successful children? Everything goes back to purifying our hearts. When you purify your hearts, and that manifests itself around your family, you'll raise the best children, right? But sometimes we have to see, what can we do to make it easier, right? What can we do to make it easier for us to purify our hearts? And understanding knows how we teach our children, our families, about purification of the heart and why it's so important. But how some of the scholars wrote beautiful books about the subject. And there's one scholar, Ibn al-Jawziyah, who wrote a book called Madarij al-Salikin. Madarij al-Salikin is the levels of the traveler on the spiritual path. And I know we probably have some Afghans in the audience. This book is actually connected to Afghanistan. It's connected to Abdullah al-Ansari Herat, who was a famous Hanbali Sufi, who Ibn al-Jawziyah took his book and just took out some of the stuff maybe that wasn't authentic and wrote Madarij al-Salikin, which was a famous text of spirituality. So imagine what level we're in, right? Maybe one or two, we talked about 200 levels of the spiritual travel, right? To purify one's heart. And what I'm going to talk about today is another famous book of his, Al-Wa'ad al-Sayyid al-Kalam al-Tayyib. This is a book every single one of us should have. This is a book that you can literally open up to any page and get some gems that have a profound impact, not only you, but your family. So this book was translated by Islamic Text Society, and they translated it as Invocation of God. They made the subject the Invocation of God. And I won't get into Islamic Society, it's not actual Invocation of God, there's deeper meaning to it. But this book, in the 3rd chapter, he talks about the benefits of remembrance. And he says there's over 100, but he goes over a few of them. And I'll read a few right now. So he says there are more than 100 benefits of remembrance. Number 1, remembrance drives away fetters and breaks the devil. 2, it pleases the most merciful God Almighty. 3, it removes the cares and worries of the heart. 4, it brings happiness, joy, and relief. Al-farah wa surur wal-basr to the heart. It strengthens both heart and body. It illuminates the face and the heart. It brings provision of bliss. It adorns the one who practices it with dignity, sweetness, and radiance. It endows it with love and mahabba, which is the very spirit of Islam, and the pivotal point of religion, and the acts of eternal happiness and deliverance. For God has opened a way of access to everything, and the way to love is consistency in remembrance. So let anyone who wishes to find the love of God Almighty be fervent in his remembrance. It is both a lesson and a reminder. It is equally the daily hypnosis that which opens the door of self-reform. Entering therein, the servant worships God as if he were seeing him. There is no way for the heedless man to reach the station of ihsan, excellence, any more than for a seated man to reach his home. And it goes on, it's beautiful. And the thing is, when you do remembrance, when you do dhikr, and I'll end the khutbah with some practical steps, but the muraqabah, self-reflection. And we need that today more than ever. And many of our young folks struggle with this self-reflection in our daily lives. And who wouldn't in this day and age when there's fitna and tribulations and challenges that are put all over you? But there's one thing, an advice to myself and to all of you about something that impacts the purification of the heart. And that is technology. What the experts say about technology is that when you're watching TV or you're watching YouTube or playing video games, what does that affect? It impacts your frontal lobe. And why is that significant? Because the frontal lobe is the part of the brain that affects your morality, your ethics, and your spirituality. So you might ask yourself, why am I struggling? Why am I struggling with my deen? And why am I'm reading Quran or going to masjid, I'm still struggling? SubhanAllah. Just look at this, what the scientists have said of today, and the impact of technology on our lives, and then how it affects our deen and our iman, our frontal lobe. So brothers and sisters, if you're having a challenge with your spirituality, maybe take a step back. Even myself, sometimes I say, well, I'm reading news. It's important that we're care. I have to know what's happening. But sometimes you take it to a level of extreme. It's just you're obsessed with information, right? Or some people are obsessed with gaming. You just have to ask yourself, right? If you do something and you waste so much time, then there's a problem there. And when you do this, you become in this reflective state to say, SubhanAllah, you know what? Playing an hour of video games every day, that's not going to be good for my future, right? That's how I could be reading a book, I could be taking my studies to the next level. So muraqabah is a part of purifying the heart, and it's important today more than ever to reflect on every single one of us because we're so consumed with technology. You know that Steve Jobs, who's the creator of iPhone, the creator of the iPad, did not allow his children around technology. And actually most of the Silicon Valley tech executives don't allow the children to have technology. They actually send them to Waldorf School. Waldorf School, there's no computer. They don't use computers. They actually write out reports by hand. They do art in their book reports. They have art pieces in the book reports. That's what they're doing, right? So I'm not saying that we go, we say that just cut it out. That's not going to happen. Your children, if they're already accustomed to it, But you just have to set parameters. Because wallahi, brothers and sisters, it does affect their spirituality and their deen because it numbs the frontal lobe. And that's so they can be great kids, but it can have an impact on them. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Brothers and sisters, in the few minutes I have left, just some quick practical steps to purifying the heart. For coming to Fajr and Isha. Coming to Fajr and Isha, I mean, if you live in the Muslim world, right, this masjid, if you're in Cairo, Egypt, if you don't pray your 5 prayers in the masjid, there's something wrong. There's like a masjid in your building below, in the mall, in every store. There's masallas, masjid everywhere. But here, you have to drive usually 5-10 minutes. Some it's longer than others. Wallahi, my sisters, praying Fajr and Isha at the masjid, especially for the young, because it breaks the nest, right? When someone is lazy and they're not, no, I'll just pray at 6:30, 20 minutes or 30 minutes or before the sunrise. No, but when you get up earlier to come to the masjid, you break that nest. You put your nest in check. And also it affects everything because then the night before, you're like, I'm not going to stay up all night playing video games because there's no way I'm going to make it to the masjid. When we were going to San Francisco, we had this young sheikh who came to the community. I'm also like, had a big impact on young people. And everyone really liked them. So after he built a relationship with you, he said, Madison, you're coming to Fajr tomorrow. Oh, and this is downtown San Francisco, so it's kind of further. He says, you're coming tomorrow. Not only are you coming tomorrow to Fajr, you're going to make sure this brother comes to Fajr tomorrow. And all of a sudden, he didn't have all the brothers. All of a sudden, the masjid was filled with young people. Not only that, there was actually brothers. This had such an impact on the community. There were brothers that were living in Marin County across the Golden Gate Bridge that would catch the bus in the morning to pray Fajr downtown San Francisco. And the barakah that we saw from those days, everyone still reminisces about those days. We have to make sure we encourage each other, support each other. The best friend is the one that makes sure that, hey, have to measure. I'll take you all the way. Come on, man. Say, no. Wallahi, brothers, if you start coming to Fajr and Isha, especially Fajr, because Fajr is the one that has a huge impact on yourself. Another one is making sure you do your afghar in the morning and in the evening. The Prophet ﷺ gave us exactly what to say and the benefits of that. Make sure you have a word that you're doing daily. And then the Prophet ﷺ said, every part of the body requires charity. And it's a long hadith, and then he says, and you can make that all up, we'll just pray 2 rak'ahs of duha. The simple steps that we have in our deen that bring about tremendous amounts of about 2 rak'ahs after 20 minutes after sunrise until duha. Just pray 2 rak'ahs. Make it a habit that you don't leave the house every single day without doing duha. You will see after a while, you will see changes in your life, and you're like, subhanAllah, ever since I started praying duha, things start opening up. Surat al-Kahf every Friday. Nur, Allah gives you nur of lights from one Jum'ah to the next. And it's long. It does take, it takes 15 minutes. Or sometimes, if you're in a hurry, you can always go to YouTube and put Kahf fast. 11 minutes, you're done. You just listen to it and repeat after the shaykh and get it out when you're in trouble, when you don't have much time. But wallahi, when you do it, you make it a habit. Every single Friday, you will see things happen in your life. And like, subhanAllah, all these challenges that I had kind of went away when I started doing these things. I know we're running out of time, and then istighfar. They sing astaghfirullah 70 times. The Prophet said in one narration 70 times, another narration 100 times. And well, you'll see big changes. You have problems with your spouse, problems with your children. Doing the istighfar, because the Salihin would always be to say istighfar. Doing istighfar, and you guys know the story about Ahmed ibn Hanbal, when he met the baker who was doing istighfar all night, and then Imam Ahmed asked him, does Allah not give you everything you ask for? He said, but Allah gives me everything I ask for. Everything. And so how people that are mindful of these things see a lot of openings in their lives. Light the heart, protect your heart. Successful is the one who purifies it, and the loser one who steals corruption. Brother, this is it. Because a day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to look at the hearts, not your bodies, how much wealth you have, any of that. He's going to look at your hearts. So if your external actions lead that show that you have a good heart, you're good. You're good, but for the young people, it takes mujahada. Literally, it's jihad. Jihad is to make sure that your heart's in the right place, that you're disciplined by your life, that you reflect upon your life to see where's my heart at. Is it just consumed with music and video games, all the stuff? Wallahi, you bring it down. This is a reminder to myself, brothers and sisters, that this is what we can, wallahi, when we purify our hearts in the community, because Allah will never change the condition of people until we change the conditions of ourselves. So you see what's happened to the Ummah today, and you care about it, purify yourself first, and you'll be the rest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات المؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك سميع مجيب الدعوات. Indeed, Allah preserves from rudeness and iniquity, but verily remembrance of Allah is more important. Allah knows what you do. الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة وقد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. الله الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Cycle. Few quick announcements. Just want to thank MCF for always being the front lines and supporting different efforts. As you know, right now, the Afghan crisis, the refugee crisis, this is ground zero in the entire country. And so, alhamdulillah, MCF, CARE, Mass Social Services Foundation, ICNA, Masrat, they've created weekly meetings on how to respond to this issue, how we can support them. 1,000 came to Sacramento, 100 to Modesto, 250 to San Diego, and the waves are coming. And so, inshallah, as a community, we have like on Saab to be there to support the Afghan community, inshallah, when they come to this region. So stay tuned for more on that effort. And also, you know, there's COVID outreach going on and also redistricting. Make sure you're paying attention to the redistricting, what's happening in your area. If you want more information, your team can, you know, maybe present on this issue. Redistricting affects who you vote for, you know, the boundaries. This is really important. And we can have a say, as a community, we can have a say in the redistricting, inshallah. And the last thing, some maybe bad news and good news, but the city of Sacramento bought the building that CARE's in, so we have to leave very soon. But we might there's a possibility we might buy a building. So inshallah, stay tuned, make it off for us, and we'll keep the community posted about that as well. So it's